how's it gone? How did you enjoy? Yeah. So, do you have any questions
or any feelings about anything that you've seen that you'd like to share with the group?
I would just say.
Say your name.
Oh, it's Tatiana. I would just say that I learned about you beforehand, but it was good for me to be able to see it firsthand and get more history on it. And I see lots of things from Black history who were at the museum, so I was thankful to be able to see it firsthand.
Right. Great.
Tell them to be quiet, please.
So also, I want you guys, once again, I don't know, in fact, maybe this is something that you could help me with, because your generation, okay, everybody's generation, but young ladies, Miss Juneteenth, your generation, I just think you're the best ever.
All right.
So, apparently it just keeps getting better and better in the world. So I want to know, so really, okay, so we came through Greenwood. This is Pine. This would have been like the kind of street where it ended in 1921, and then now that would have all been...
Thank you.
Oh, young ladies, I want you to know that building over there, North Point, that center, is owned by a woman. In fact, at first I had on a Girl Boss t-shirt because I want you to see the day as kind of about, it really kind of is. The CEO of the library system, the entire system for the entire county, Tulsa County, is also a woman, and she's also a Black woman. And I told you she started that African American Resource Center that you were in. And now she's the CEO of the entire system. But my question was, so as much as I said, so now we're back into parts of it that were burned down, but and we will be going. I mean, think about all of this, like having disappeared. But again, all of these homes, you're still in a Black community. It is huge. Look behind you. If you can look behind you, oh man. You could see, as far as you could see back in that horizon, this community is huge. It's the size of, as I said, when I first moved back here, after I went to college and then lived in New York and lived in England, when I moved back here, North Tulsa was the size, it would have been the 5th largest city in Oklahoma if it were a city. It's huge. And so that's my question. How do we tell the story about 1921? And yeah, there are all these tragedies, but how do we get to where, even for me and for the people who live here, we are grateful for like everything that we have now? Because it kind of continually gets lost back into 1921, but
well, they built back better.
They built
like
back better, and again and again. Any ideas?
I think that it's just something that's not just communicating with the people around you in your community, but it's also having to communicate it to the entire nation. So expanding more upon where you hear about the Tulsa Massacre. Like for me, I live in Texas, we're your neighboring state, but a lot of people did not know about this until 2020 and with the BLM protests and everything. So it's more of expanding who we talk to this about and making sure that even if we don't think someone is going to listen to us or someone's going to like to talk about this, we need it to get it to like a wider audience.
That's awesome. Wow. Tell us your name.
My name is Sydney. I'm from San Antonio.
San Antonio. Yay. So,
I feel like...
Say your name.
My name is Ace. I feel like the massacre, which is basically like the Juneteenth is today, like nobody really knows about it, but everybody wants to understand. So I feel like we can help them understand because now we have like social media and everything, so it's more than just words of mouth. Like we don't have to write letters or anything. by one. Like everybody, if I share something, like a lot of people will share or screenshot it and repost. So I feel like if we do that a lot more, then everybody will be more aware about what's happening or what happened and what's happening now.
And what's happening now, because that's the part I think.
My name is Precious, and to add to that, I also agree with what she said, but I think along with posting it on social media, there needs to be re-education of some of the things, because what I saw at the museum was, not an article, but like a poster about Bacon Rebellion, and it was saying it in a different light than what I've been taught in school, because the way they made Bacon Rebellion in school was like it was a bad thing, that blacks were rebelling. Well, obviously they're rebellion, but they made it seem like it's a bad thing. And reading it at the museum, I found myself that I know why they did it, and yeah, I know why they did it. And it was just like I feel like with social media, things are also community education and like making sure all sides and all points of view are shown.
Re-education. Should be writing this down.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I agree with Precious though. I feel like that the school system has a lot to do with like black kids not understanding what's happening in the world, because everybody sweeps everything under the rug and just they act like it never happened, but it happened, and I feel like everybody should be aware. So I feel like it should definitely be in the school systems. I feel like it should be a secret. It's not a secret. It happened. Like people's lives were destroyed. Many people were killed. So everybody's so quick, like the Holocaust. Everybody's so quick to say about that, but it was like mainly white people, so that's why they taught it to us. Nobody taught us about this ever.
Never thought of that. So,
yeah, sorry, I'm Sophia. I really like what they were saying. Like, I feel like this is something Tulsa Massacre really needs to be taught, especially in black-oriented neighborhoods. It's something that really needs to be taught because it's important to learn about our roots and like where we were then and where we are now. Because that I feel like that really helps us push our limits and push past those stereotypes.
so then you're just making me think. So then what do we have to do? Start our own schools? Do we start our own schools? Do we?
I feel like we should start our own school. I'm glad we're not like segregated anymore.
Who's
but
speaking?
I also feel like the segregation, it actually wasn't that bad because we were being taught by black teachers and we were around black students, and we learned more about ourselves and within. So when they moved us to the white schools, it's different curriculum and stuff.
Of course. So we got like 4 hands. Who goes?
I love it.
Who goes next?
Can I go?
Yeah, you guys decide.
Mackenzie hasn't spoken.
How do I do
Don't
this?
hand it
My
Okay.
name is Mackenzie, and I agree with Ace because, like she said about segregation, it wasn't really correct. For segregation, we wanted to be mixed into each other's curriculums. But how they did segregation, they put us into the white man's curriculum, and that's not how it's supposed to be. They didn't put any white people into the black curriculum. And also, what they were saying about education, I very much agree because I'm just now getting to college, and I'm taking an African diasporic world class, and that's where I'm being put on into all of this information about my history that we weren't taught in regular schools and high schools and elementary. And in those schools, they just reteach us the same things over and over again, like Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, stuff like that.
And now they're taking it out.
So that's kind of how it's getting lost, because we keep focusing on the past. Okay.
Okay, so in our state, it's Sophia. In our state, in Delaware, about I think 3 months ago, our governor signed Bill 198, which requires all schools in Delaware to teach Black History course. It's required. So they will be learning about Juneteenth and most likely the Tulsa Massacre.
So I got to tell you, our governor did just the opposite.
Yes.
Our governor signed an anti-critical race theory bill, making it illegal for you to teach critical race theory. So basically our history in public schools, including public universities in Oklahoma.
Okay, I'm Ace. I have one more thing to say. So, I was born and basically raised majority of my life in Alabama. I'm from Gaston, Alabama, and me going to school in Alabama, I just feel like the schools there are very racist and they don't really care about the black kids. I'm gonna just be real because they don't. They don't help you with your work or anything. They don't really want you to succeed. And the only thing they talk about is slavery at schools in the South. But when I moved to Oregon, I learned more about me and my black self and my black history. And it's kind of sad that I had to learn that from like white teachers. And when I had the black teachers in front of me, y'all didn't want to say anything, or y'all couldn't say anything to me. That makes sense. And we didn't have any like social groups. Like now I'm in Black Student Union and all this extra stuff. But in Alabama, we don't have that. We don't have those type of opportunities.